Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Best Life and Beyond. It's that time of year, Q&A time.
Yes, this is your frequently asked questions, a little bit of get to know us, but more importantly, we are answering the questions that you guys submitted to us about a week or so ago, and we will address some of the more recent comments and stuff like that. But like I said, most importantly, we're going to get to know us, tell a little bit about our origin story. And,
we like to do this, once a year or so because we get new subscribers that maybe have jumped in mid-story and they're wondering, what's up with these two? He's older, she's younger. What's the deal? How did they start doing this? Do they have jobs?
What planet are they from?
So many questions. We're going to answer those for you because we care that, we got some new people watching and we want to make sure you guys are up to speed. So that's why we like to do this.
Yes. And we'll start off with a little bit of an origin story, get to know us a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you are not new and you just want to get to those frequently asked questions, you can skip forward a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll start off with that and then later we'll go over some, we'll just kind of chat and go over some stuff too.
Yeah. And then that thing we were talking about that we'll talk about later that kind of came at us. And so, we'll address that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But origin, we're going to try to keep it Reader's Digest for you. It could be lengthy if we wanted it to be, but really, the fact of the matter is...
we do blab a lot, though.
We blab a lot, so it's kind of perfect that we're Best Life.
Grab your coffee, grab your tea, maybe a Diet Coke, whatever it is, and just sit down and listen to the soothing sounds of the smooth wave radio of Katie and Spence blabbering on.
Man, it was I was thrown back to 94.7 The Way.
If only we had a saxophone right back there. Right?
Yeah, and the best part, though, would be that, you cut to a guy who's actually playing the saxophone. Because you would just hear the music a lot of times and things, but, I want to see the player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I swear there was a movie where it was the panda. It was Daddy's Home. By the way, you will notice I have my phone out. That's because that's where the questions are, and
You've got your device handy with the questions.
I'm ready.
Yeah, so origin story.
My name's Katie. This is Spencer. You're a Sagittarius. I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
I'm really going in depth. But really, that is important to know because we're both fire signs, and that...
True.
I feel like that affects a lot of who we are and how we were raised. I am from Orange County. I grew up here, been here. You grew up in Los Angeles.
Yep, San Fernando Valley. And then Malibu. Eventually, there was a bunch of places in between. I've lived in the mountains and all sorts of places and done a lot of things. Done production my whole life in Hollywood as a cue card guy for a ton of years and then a stage manager for a ton of years and still do occasionally play that role.
So like I said, grew up here and I pretty much was more in the medical field I had a bunch of odd jobs, worked with dogs and you name it, but...
I take offense to that, but...
one of the things where we overlapped, though, and where we met was at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually know and followed our channel originally because we started at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
It started at Disneyland because I, like I said, grew up in Orange County, being an Orange County gal. Having a pass, an annual pass, was a thing. I mean, we went every single week. I grew up in that park.
That's when it was just a regular little laminated pass that somebody made in the office right there. It was very primitive at that time.
It was $99 for a whole year back. And I got my first pass, I think when I was 3 or 4, which I still have some pictures of. I think they're on my Instagram. However, it's just one of those things that when you get older, I think I was... I can't remember. It was shortly after high school. I think I didn't have a pass for a few years, maybe a year or so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really, really weird. It was a weird time.
Such a poser, dude.
I know.
Such a poser.
I'm sorry about it.
I never had a pass until, I was an adult, but I started going there in 1972.
The audacity.
I know.
But no, you did, I
started going in 72, and I remember the electrical parade, vividly.
The first
and just a couple things.
Yeah,
just burned in my memory because lights are so bright,
I remember because of lights.
It's true.
That's great.
But I've been going my whole life, and so I felt a serious attachment to it and grew up loving art and, becoming an artist, and so the Walt Disney story and all of that stuff was always fascinating to me. And then finding out that Disneyland had all this thought put into it as far as like there were little things that, you know, like hidden Mickeys or why is this here and what's that thing? And there's a story behind everything, you know, and all that stuff that fascinated me and drew me to that place as an adult, you know.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're hearing little mouth noises over here, Greta is sitting to my left and she's going
just out of frame.
Yum, 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 like,
she's sitting in her bed on the desk here, just out of frame. It's her most comfortable thing. So
you might be hearing some mlems. They call them doggy mlems.
Yeah, Greta's our little Chiweenie.
Yes.
You've probably seen her on the channel, but if you haven't,
yeah,
it's our dog.
Back to though when we met,
Yeah.
I was doing a Periscope in between nursing. I think it was something with my licensing, so I was a nurse, and I think you had to wait. So I would go and do Periscope live streams. And for those of you that are like, what is Periscope? It was the first live streaming app, one of the first live streaming apps, and it was through Twitter.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. You started watching it.
Yeah, and I was dabbling in Periscope as well.
I was dabbling a bit.
No,
we used to say scope up. You gonna go scope the parade? Dude, it was a good time.
Scopers.
Disney scopers.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was deep, but it was cool. It was
fun.
The fun thing about it was at that time, and I know it sounds such like an old person to say this, but it's true. That whole thing that was going on there was very small at that time.
It was.
And so
it was big, but
if
small.
you were there, like what I would do sometimes, I would go and I'd be walking down Main Street with no agenda at all. And I didn't really know anybody. I just was following Periscope, and I knew about everybody and stuff. But like I would just go live, and I think Katie had shared one of my scopes.
Yeah, because you could do that. Like, so if Spence was doing something, I could share it. So all my people, because I had like quite a significant.
She wasn't there that night.
Yeah.
So like oh, this guy's doing it. So here, go watch him instead.
Yeah.
And so I would scope up on Main Street, and immediately people would jump in and like, oh, no way, you're at Disney right now. That's so cool.
Yeah,
like,
the idea was like you wanted people with a lot more followers, and I had like such a significant following because I was there so much.
Yeah.
Like I think anybody who was there. And I remember like if I would share his, he'd be like, whoa, this is so
I would get an influx, you know. So, it was fun, you know, and like anytime I was there, like my favorite thing was to scope the electrical parade because that was my favorite thing. I told you, it's one of the first things I remember from Disneyland as a kid. So going there and seeing that at night was like, it was really cool, and it also was exactly what I was into as far as like I was into retro Disney.
Right. So then my friend Brian and I, who I had met through Periscope, rest in peace. He actually passed away about 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
He was one of our. He was my friend that we met through Periscope, and then the reception was terrible. So him and I were like, let's just put this stuff on YouTube. So we started a channel called the Disney Bears. It was probably the cringiest, most like, oh man, it was unhinged. It was for the time though. It was the way the times were.
But the thing is, like that
fun.
interesting point though, another primitive thing, and let the old guy say all these things, so it's like it makes sense.
Okay.
The signal in the park. In those early years of social media was you had to know where the good places were and especially had to know where the bad places were because you would lose your signal.
You couldn't really live stream through Adventureland back in the day, like not at all.
You couldn't, okay, so I know it's hard to believe, but you couldn't just go traipsing around Disneyland wherever you wanted with your camera live streaming thinking that you were going to, like, that ain't happening, especially
and it did
rides.
depend on your carrier.
It depended on your carrier, yeah. I believe AT&T was the dominant, and T-Mobile. Those were both really good. But I know I had Verizon. I've always had Verizon, right? And it was terrible. But anyways, long story short, it was kind of cool because you had to know. And so, early days of anything, it's primitive, and it's like this little club of like you had to know.
Yeah,
things that made it fun.
But it was fun because I think that eventually intertwined with YouTube. And again, I think so when we first met, Spence had been watching the YouTube and the Periscope.
Yeah.
And I think we met at Radiator Springs over there somewhere.
Yeah, you guys were there. I was there. I was solo.
You were there.
I was there.
I was there. No, but I remember you jumped into my live stream and I was getting off of Radiator Springs Racers.
And I happened to be right there in...
and you're like, hey, I'm here. Like, and
we
I was
met
like,
up.
oh, let's say hi.
And
we all took our infamous picture.
Yeah.
That was because I think Kevin was there too, or
Kevin
something like
was
that.
there, yeah. And
but so yeah, we took a picture, and then, but then I was like, I remember we had chatted for a while, and I was like, you don't post too much on your Instagram, do you? And you're like, no, it's not like my thing. I just kind of put a little of my art on there. And I was like, whoa, your art, this is so cool. Like, how fun. And then I remember I was like, yeah, we should hang out again sometime, you know? And that's how it was, though, back then. It's like most of my friends originally started because I met them at Disneyland. It was like such a good time. So, you know, you were just another one of those friends. And I remember we had seen you again and we were like, hey, do you want to do this YouTube thing with us? Like, we're going to go to like Pirates. And so we did. And I think Brian and I had talked. And
I think Dapper Day was the first thing.
Oh, it was Dapper Day. You're right.
And then Pirates. So I think, Dapper Day was coming up, and like we were all talking about it.
Yeah,
and
we're like, let's
you guys
go to
were
the
like,
Cove Bar.
No, you guys were like, are you going to Dapper Day? And we're like, yeah. Like, oh well, we should meet up. Okay, cool. It was as simple as that, and we did. We went and hung out at the old Cove Bar when it was cool.
Yeah.
At DCA, and we did a little bit of video with you guys, and then the Pirates thing came shortly after that, where we made a video and
I had told Brian, I was like, I think this kid's got the stones.
Oh my gosh.
So I think he's got it in him.
It was fun for me because I came from television production, and all that stuff is just so second nature to me. So, you know, jumping in with these guys was super fun, and like oh yeah, like I have no problem with this. Done some acting a little bit in my past too, so I wasn't scared to like be on camera or put myself out there at all.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember when I first talked to Spence, he was like an alien to me because I didn't like let me just take it back for you for a little fun here. My sister always says to me, she's like, Katie, you live in your little Orange County bubble. And I really did. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, I think I had gone to like LA maybe 3 or 4 times for concerts back in my emo days, right? And I was like, oh yeah, you know about like Pink's hot dogs? And he was like, but it was so fun because we just clicked as friends. Like, man, I remember we were sitting by Small World one time because we were waiting to, I don't even know what we were doing. But
watch a parade or fireworks or something.
Something. But we were just chatting and we were talking about like Small World, how much I loved it. And you're like, yeah, Mary Blair. And I was like, you know about that? And then you were just going into so much depth about it. And you know when your souls just like connect with a person, and just like it did when I met Brian. And it was like your souls just connect. And I was like, God, this guy is great. And I was like, yeah, where do you live? And you're like, Malibu. I'm like, cool, man. I didn't even know what Malibu was. I'm being 100%.
Yeah, she didn't know.
I am being honest with you.
It's embarrassing.
Never even knew what it was. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, isn't that where my Barbie's from? Like,
there's
nice.
people that live in like India who know what Malibu is.
I know, I didn't. But you appreciated that because there is a weird little like thing when you would tell people like, yeah, from Malibu.
I used to not. It was so weird. For the longest time, I would try to not tell people because that's not why I was there. And I'd just say, yeah, I live at the beach. And they'd say, oh, cool. Are you like in Venice or whatever? No, just a little further up. I'm like, oh, Santa Monica. I'm like, no. You know.
No, you said yes to that many times because you're like, I said why. And you're like, I don't want to go into it because people start thinking that you're something that you're not.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
Yeah. It's just a weird thing because there's a perception.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was just like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And I think, again, we really meshed on the things we liked and our souls versus weird stuff like that, you know? So I don't know. It worked. But then Brian, he lived in Arizona, and again, that was another place that was foreign to me. I was like, what? Yeah. You know? What? But he would drive down, and I think he would be there twice a month. And so the idea was Spence and I would do content, and I think at the time, YouTube had just started doing live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like,
it was brand new.
We thought, let's do What's Happening Wednesday, but it was called What's Happening Disneyland. And we're like, we'll do a live thing. We'll talk about everything going on in the parks and be interactive. It's going to be so much fun, guys.
Yeah. It was like an update video before there were update videos. So
we did that for a while. And then Brian eventually, like, we kind of, it just didn't work out. So Spence and I kind of took over. Personal wise, I was actually married this entire time, but going through a separation.
Yeah.
So that happened with me, kind of in between. I think you were actually in a relationship right when we met.
Yeah.
That didn't last very long.
Nope.
And then it was kind of weird because like we were such good friends, but then it was like weird. We really started as like best friends that were so tight.
Yeah.
And then it was like the relationship part kind of happened.
It had to grow into that. It wasn't yeah, there was it was a great friendship that just grew into that way later.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
people, we were accused of it happening earlier, but it's like, I'm telling you, you know.
Oh, so you didn't think I was hot?
No, I didn't. Of course I did. That's not the point. Anyways, yeah, that's the origin. We eventually, you know, started our own channel because we got serious about it, because it was like, it was becoming a thing, you know, and it was catching on, and like we were loving doing it. It was like,
and we were loving Disneyland at the time, so we called it Life Disney.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's more. We're trying to really cliff notes this here for you, but yeah, we started doing Disneyland so often, and then the pandemic came. That's when we did Home Is Where the Vlog Is.
Yeah, that
because
came
I moved to Malibu
purely out of desperation to keep going, because we were on a roll and we loved what we were doing, and I refused to, you know, let it stop us. And even if, you know, in the beginning it was like, it was pretty low, the views weren't like great, but we didn't care, you know. And the core people were there, you know, from our channel, you know, the subscribers that were just dedicated. And then it started to kind of catch on a little more, and we did 50 days in a row
something like that.
of just at home, you know, and what we were doing. And then, like, obviously we had to go and do the store missions like everybody did, go wait in weird lines.
It was a wild time.
But we documented all of it. And so it kind of expanded our minds a little too, to be like, hey, like, you know, doing stuff outside of what we were comfortable in the park and all that stuff. It's like, oh, hey, we should, you know.
But the irony was, though, is like the entire time, all we were doing was focused on getting back into Disneyland, like so hardcore. And then once we did get back into Disneyland, it was so different, as you know. But I'd say that we went to Walt Disney World in that time because Disneyland didn't open until later. Yeah. But we were so hyper focused on Disney and theme park, and you know, we really felt like that was like our niche and that was our thing. And while it's still something we love and whatnot, I think now where we're sitting at today, we can definitely, and we'll probably talk way more about this as we get farther into the video. But as Disney has changed, as we've changed and grown, as that social media scene has changed in the space, you know what I mean? I mean, it's insane. Yeah, we're here. You know what I mean? We just find a love for doing, you know, making videos and experiencing life, and that's why eventually this channel became Best Life, because Katie would say it a lot. It was her catchphrase for a while. Yeah, living your best life, live your best life. And I was like, we should call it Best Life. And we'd already called it Life Disney and Beyond, so we were like, let's call it Best Life and Beyond so it doesn't rattle people too much. And that's how the name came about. But it truly means to, you know, go out and live your best life the way you feel, what your heart's telling you to do. You don't have to copy us and do what we do, but if you want to, it's awesome, because we do fun stuff, and we provide some information that in regards to that stuff. But it's really in an effort to say, hey, go, you know, do your thing and have the best time you can, because we're here for a very short time. And it's also a reminder too. I think that's another reason we want to always remind you that living your best life doesn't mean going to the beach every day. It doesn't mean that you need to go to Disneyland every day. It doesn't mean that you need to do the most lavish, expensive. It doesn't mean that you get to, I think I watched this reel the other day. It is not normal to go to Europe every year. It is not normal to, you know what I mean? Like, it is okay to do things that are normal and to have a 9-to-5 job.
I think you're talking about just kind of the mundane.
Yeah, like
but the mundane can be fun, because like we go to like Costco or something and it's fun. Because
that's the thing, is like living your best life is like enjoying every little bit of it. And so that's always been one of the things that we've wanted to focus on. Living your best life is just enjoying what it is you're doing, because how grateful, you know, if you have an apartment or whatever it might be, that is the best time, is like you have shelter. You know, I mean, it's these little things. I don't know, maybe that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. So another little part of our story that I think is also very important to know is that we have been canceled 4 times.
Well, yeah, but I don't know necessarily if you're canceled, then you're gone, right?
Oh, no, I think canceled is like...
That's what it used to mean. I don't know. It used to mean like you were canceled, like because to me, I come from television. When a show's canceled, it's gone.
Oh,
It's
no, but I'm
canceled.
talking about like socially canceled.
No, I
Like,
know, but originally,
Oh, I get what you're saying.
cancel culture was
Yeah.
like, you are canceled, you're done.
So
Until,
I'd say
you know,
for us, we've been
it's like an attempted cancellation.
yeah, I get. Okay, we'll say that. We've been attempted at being canceled
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 times, and I
Yeah.
think that's important to know because there's a lot of psychological crazy stuff that has happened with that. And I mean, man, have we been through it. But
It's pretty simple, though, in terms of what it is, because all of it's baseless and there hasn't really been anything ever proven. So the weird part is, you know, it's a gossip-based type of thing. It's tribalism. It's a way to get us, you know, out of someone's way, you know, because people don't necessarily worry about things that aren't a threat to them. So I don't know. I think that's what that
is
stuff
a good
stemmed
way
from.
of saying it,
You know,
yeah.
people came after us because we were a threat to their views, or they felt that, you know, maybe we were getting too many views and too much dominance in the space or something like that.
Who knows?
I don't know. It's really not important. But the thing is that that's usually what that stuff stems from, is an inadequacy and trying to take someone down. And if you think about it, when you say take someone down, that means you're down here and they're up there, and you're trying to pull them down to your lower level. So,
yeah, a lot of that sounds a little cliche, but hey, it's the facts.
it's common on the internet. If you
think-
talk to any creator, it's pretty common.
I think the other thing that we'll talk about, and I think we should take this time to say it right now, is that there has been a ton of, I think this is important to know, if you are going to turn on this channel and whatever it might be, this is a good time to set the record straight on a few things. Few things that you maybe even don't even know, but why don't we just say it right now?
Sure.
Was there ever a fight or a threat of a fight but with you and Justin Scard?
No.
Was there ever a time where either of us went to Disneyland with the coronavirus?
No.
I do want to comment one thing on that. When you're sick, is that where you want to go? Like, when I'm sick, I don't want to go anywhere. Another one, did we ever screw our former roommate, Adam the Woo, out of rent or anything like that?
Nope.
No. None of these are true. None of these things happened. Were we ever a bad person to, you know, that person, Adam? No. None of that happened.
Is there any proof on that side of things that we did any of those things? No. Is there proof on our side to prove that we are innocent of those things?
Yes.
Yes. Has that proof been put out on the internet for all to see? Yes. Do they still believe the narrative of that we owe money even though we proved it wrong? Yes, they still believe it. Mm-hmm. So that's the interesting thing, and that's kind of what we're at. You know, what do we do about that? Like, why? Well, it's not really in our control.
We've also gone as far as to say, like, hey, we will meet up with these people that are spreading those things so that we can prove them wrong, so we can share the documents, so that we can share what we can. We've offered as far as to go to our old apartment complex and talk to our manager. We have offered to share with these people the video of the confrontation. We have offered to pull our records at Disneyland
but
for
what
the
does all
time
that
that
say?
we were sick.
So what does all that say? That everything's on the table as far as our proof of our innocence, right? What does it say that they don't want to hear it, and they want to, you know, they don't want to hear it, right? And they don't want that on the table. What does that say? At the end of the day, they don't like us, and they've kind of determined that in their head, and they want a reason so socially they can say, I don't like this person. Because if you just say, hey, I don't like Best Life and Beyond, and somebody says, well, why not? That's the first thing somebody's going to say. Why not? You have to have a reason, right? So that's their reason. Now, if that reason is shared by a lot of people, even if it's a lie, if it's shared by a lot of people, they start to bond over that lie. Hey, you feel the same way. Yeah, they really did that. Yeah, hey, you're cool. You see my way. So when that happens, you get a really strong push from the ego when this stuff gets proven wrong. Because what are you telling these people now? Now you have to say that all of your like rally cry relationships with all these people that let's hate on Best Life together, it's all false and it means nothing. That hurts people's egos, and they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to even think about that. I could show any one of those people that piece of paper or that printout of Adam's Facebook post, and they'd still hate me, and I don't care.
Well, they would say it's fake, or
no, they would come up with some sort of excuse to protect their ego, because it has nothing to do with me. It's how they feel about me. I have no control of that. But if I try to go, hey, just so you know, your perception of why you think you hate me is completely wrong. It destroys their ego. It hurts their ego, and they don't know how to deal with it. They're not equipped with enough to deal with that. I'm sorry. Challenge me on that.
Yeah.
They're not. Look what they're doing.
It's kind of like...
it's bizarre.
It's kind of the same thing like with the fight accusations. Like, do you think we would still be able to go to Disneyland or have a pass if something like that was true?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it became like a question, and it did get a little bit like annoyed and heated, but there was never violence.
But it wasn't
like that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to realize, like, you have an over 50-year-old man, like, I think he knows better. Like, you know, so it's stuff like that where, again, and I thankfully videotaped the whole thing. I don't know it was so weird. Like, the fact that I was smart enough to do that is crazy. But you can't convince people otherwise, but I just think it's important to set the record straight that none of this happened. None of this is true. These are baseless, false claims, and we just want to set the record straight. Especially
with the one claim, you know, that is out there. And I'm not going to even tell you this person's name because it's kind of irrelevant because I didn't know who this person was. So I'm not going to...
Oh, the most recent thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And so...
we're talking about the most recent. There was a Twitter post, and I went off about it on my Instagram. We don't even know who that person didn't.
I did a little research. It's a low-level 1 in 1,000, 1,500 Florida vloggers, theme park vloggers. There's so many of them. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to insult you guys, but like, there's a lot of you who do the same thing over there, and you know that. And you guys, some of you make a living of it. Some of you are just playing and having fun. Whatever you're doing, I don't care. Do what you will. This guy is part of just some crew over there. He was one of the more recent friends of Adam. Awesome. But he came at us trying to gatekeep the fact that like we're not allowed to make a tribute video to a friend that we used to have, a former friend, that we buried the hatchet with, and that we have every right to make a tribute video, and it was respectful. And I will tell you that when we made it, I told Katie, I said, we just have to think of Adam's parents and his family when we make this video. That was where we came from. I wasn't thinking about this guy or his friends or his whatever, however he's involved or something like that. That's not what I was caring about. But he inserted himself into our situation trying to get views. And I was made aware of this years ago that this is a tactic that people will springboard off you. And people have used Best Life and Beyond to springboard. And it's because you can jump on the hate train, attack Best Life and Beyond, and you will get a ton of views. And this guy knows it. He's well aware of it. And what does that say to you? He's accusing us of trying to like benefit, yet he goes and piggybacks on us and gets more attention than he's ever gotten. But anyways, the whole thing is kind of ugly that this dude drug up, and it makes no sense to me. And I don't think there's a lot of support in his corner from like creators, to be fair. That stuff has happened to us so many times that it's like, okay, whoever you are. And that's why it's important for you guys to know. And that's why, you know, it's not that we like to completely like keep going with this stuff, but it is important, I feel like, to know, because you may see something out there and that's fine. Everybody is entitled to having opinions and not liking people and whatnot. But when it comes to claims that are completely false and baseless, that is very important to know about us. And it's important to know about our story because we do get accused of a lot of things for whatever reason is out there. I think whenever you have just a little bit of negativity, it can spiral. And if you just critically think, and if someone, like I said, we've had subscribers of ours get challenged by other people and saying, why are you following them? Don't you know they screwed Adam over on an apartment? And your answer should be like, show me proof, because they've said that that's not true and they have proof and we've posted it, you know, and it was from Adam. So it's that kind of stuff that still to this day, years later, has perpetuated because people regurgitate rumors that they hear online. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, nobody's critically thinking at that point. It's like, you're going to say that stuff. and you want to be heard online and get some attention because you said something adverse about somebody, you might want to check your sources, because nowadays,
there's a lot on the internet, and again, it is important to know that does happen with us, and it doesn't drag us down.
No,
we do talk about it time to time. I talk about it a lot on the Instagram.
We do, but and comically, because I know it sounds a little like we're getting a little serious about it here, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we're getting attacked by a guy who wears goofy hats and stuff. Like, I'm worried about the people that are going to be, kind of
you're raging
fueled up, who are unhinged, who,
I just wanted to make that clear that there's a difference of so the point is though, we used to also be friends with a lot of the Disney creators, if you will, and we have since parted ways, thank God. And we want to keep it that way. So that also gets into something that you should know about us too, is that when it comes to Disneyland content, we are there at least once a week, and we keep updating you in the parks. We try to keep it to where we're enjoying ourselves, and we're being real about it, and we're being honest about it. There are so many creators out there that are making, if you are looking for a channel that is really updatey, there is TikTok, there is stuff like that. We're just not that channel, and I think that's also a very important thing to know.
We're kind of more of a perspective of we know more than the average bear about that park when we go there and stuff, but we're kind of trying to enjoy it more as a consumer as opposed to a vlogger.
Yeah.
Who's an expert in I'm going to show you this and I'm going to show you that. And we kind of do that a little bit, but we're more of just the experience that we have, and what's that place going to provide for us that day, and what kind of fun are we going to get into? It's more about that.
Yeah,
and,
we're not going to show you if a food, for instance, Food and Wine Festival and the Festival of Holidays, those are some festivals there that, they
used to be cool.
They used to be really cool, but we would be lying to you and covering those for no reason if we did, because
they've fallen off.
Right, so we got to be honest about it. So that's why I said, if you want a channel that's going to do all of that, there are so many out there, and we encourage you to watch them. We don't want to try to take away views from people. So we want you to know that our focus on this channel is real life, best life, a little bit of travel, a little bit of just.
That's why we took the Disney out of the name.
Right, it's a big reason, and
think about it.
We did try at one point to kind of go
we did
full Disney,
and we lost our minds.
Yeah, we did, and I think that's another thing important. Anyway, so let's get to some of these questions, because they will kind of touch on that, but I just wanted to give you kind of a backstory, who we are, what we feel, and then address some of the more recent things going on. And now on to these questions. So these were submitted through Instagram, most of them. We had a couple that people emailed, and then I'm trying to think the other way. I think some of them were Facebook messengered.
There was a pigeon dropped a thing too, and there was a question. It was really weird.
Dumb. So, by the way, if you do want to follow us on Instagram, Surf Los Angeles, KT's Best Life, Greta's Best Life 2, and then we have Best Life and Beyond on Instagram. That's how a lot of these were submitted. It's usually the most frequent way we have contact with
That's our
people,
main kind of landing page.
Yeah,
as
I'd say
it were,
so. Unless we do have a chat with our Patreon. So if you're one of those, they have our. Actually, a lot of them have our personal phone numbers now, so
it's true.
It's been a long time. Okay, anyway, so first question, and we're going to try to make this extremely short, and then some of them are repeat questions, so I will just kind of ask it and do a general over. If I start to see, Yeah,
well, maybe you can.
I don't know what to say.
If they're questions that you know the answers to already, that we've answered, or you know about us.
Yeah, I might.
Maybe it's a way to you could check up and make sure we're being consistent. Are we telling the truth? Did we say the same thing every year?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I might not read it.
Kidding.
I don't know. Okay. Is there anything special and exciting you, Spencer, and Greta have planned for 2026?
Nothing specific.
Yeah, I don't think we haven't
Although. I should say, we have a lot of ideas of what we want to do, and it definitely includes Greta. We just enjoy doing a lot of things that are semi-local, that are drivable, and little trips and things like that. So we plan on doing a lot more of that. So we're talking about going up the Monterey coast. We're talking about areas like that we've been to before. It's just we want to kind of get into them a little more, and she's never been there, meaning Greta. So I would say that's probably the thing that's closest to being planned, right? Like loosely.
Yeah, I would say that loosely. How did Greta get her name? My grandma actually rescued her and originally was calling her Gigi, so sometimes we call her that. And my grandma's like, long story short, when I went over there, she kind of like attached to me, and she also needs more physical, I guess, like walks.
Long story
and
short,
runs
we ended
and
up with
stuff.
her.
Yeah.
And we wanted to give her a different name.
A G name.
But it was still a G because she was called GG, right? Like, so we went through a bunch of different ones.
And Greta Pickles it was.
I came up with Greta.
Yeah, Greta Pickles.
And look, she's looking at me right now. We're talking about you.
Let's see, what dog breed, ooh, that's a good one. Speaking of dogs, what dog breed best describes your personality? I'm kind of a golden retriever, I would say.
You would be better at telling the people what I would be because she was a vet tech, so she knows breeds really well, way more than me.
You would be... Man, that's a tough one. That's a good one. I might have to think about that a bit more. I feel like you'd be more like, you're almost more like a Rhodesian Ridgeback because...
A working class dog?
Well, I would say you're more like a Rhodesian because they always want to be doing something like athletic. They're always like... And even when they get older, they still want to like go, go, go. They're very adventurous and they're very protective.
I've met a few of those before.
Yeah, they're very protective. They're very loyal. But what dog isn't loyal, pretty much? So yeah, that's why I'd give it the Rhodesian Ridgeback.
There you go.
If you could add a Disney park anywhere else in the world, where would it be?
Canada.
Canada. Most annoying thing people do at Disneyland. I'd say either walk really close to you, or stop right in front of you, or yell really loudly in your space.
Yeah, I'll agree.
This one. Will there be a marriage?
I mean, somebody's probably getting married right now. Oh, you mean us? Sorry. I thought you meant just in general.
We do talk about it. We do talk about it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'd marry you.
I would too. I'd marry you.
You're all right.
That was such a Dale answer, wasn't it?
It was.
Dale, I'm trying to be more like you, man.
No, I think we probably will. I think I'd give you a chance. I don't know. We're practically married already. It's just without the paper.
Yeah, we just don't have the paper, but we're probably more domestic than most marriages, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like, I know people who are married that don't spend half as much time together as we do, but
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, yeah, we haven't made each other honest, I guess. Is that what they say? Like, make an honest... It's always the woman, though. They're always like, make an honest woman of ya.
Yeah, well, back in the day, there was the whole old maid thing, and it was like...
Oh my gosh, am I old?
No, socially...
No, I'm just kidding.
Socially, it was like a weird thing for a while, because you were like kind of outcast a little bit.
Yeah, which is so dumb, because you do not need to be married to have value.
No, well, that's changed a long time,
Fact.
Yeah, that's...
One realistic positive change you would like to see at one of the Disney parks this year?
Drop the reservations.
Drop the reservations.
But they won't.
This is rather a tiny bit personal. What's your secret to a healthy relationship?
How dare you?
Yeah.
I you know what? That's crossed the line. I'm not doing it.
No.
We're not saying it. Moving on. Moving on. No, sorry. I had to because you were so sensitive about it, but you didn't have to be. But thank you for being so.
That was very sweet.
So cordial in your question, but we, what do you think?
I think we don't hide anything.
I don't either.
I feel like we do not, like, good, bad, ugly, sad, happy, whatever. I think you know me better than I know myself, and I know you better than you know yourself. And I also think that we complement each other. Like, you were talking about that with somebody yesterday.
Yeah.
I was overhearing you were saying, like, how you... I forgot what you said. You're like, I'm into this and I do this, but then she's this way, or I don't remember how you said it. But the point is, I think you complement each other well, and I think that compliment, and then you got to be able to go through, you have to go through really bad stuff with them and be able to still be happy. Because, man, and that's where I said sometimes, like, the stuff we went through that we were talking about earlier, that was kind of a blessing in a weird way, because, man, did it bring us closer than ever. Like,
yeah,
wouldn't you say? And then COVID stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Going through that together.
Yeah.
I think being able to be each other's best friend when stuff sucks.
Yeah, I think that's something that it's a byproduct of like that, trauma, for sure, that it's like I was saying it too the other day about building character. Like anything kind of bad that happens to you, anything, you know, it's that whole thing, anything that doesn't unalive you makes you stronger, right? That's so true. It's absolutely true. And there's no way around it, because if you survived it, then you have learned skills about if it happens again to you, you now have the skills to be like, recognize it.
Right.
You should, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, builds a lot of character. You can't deny that.
Right. Okay. This one got asked a few times, and it did last year too. Any plans to go to Disney World? And I love your videos, by the way. Thank you.
Not in the near future, because you know, we feel like we've done that place as much as like we feel like we want to. You know what I mean? Especially right now. I mean, we've, you know, aside from, you know, they have their they did a new Universal park or whatever. I don't know. We just never were that drawn to do, you know, full theme park vlogging, and that's kind of what that place is about. You know, I think it's the center of it, to be fair, and it's just not the direction that we see ourselves. Like we said earlier, we tried to go full Disneyland. You know, not theme park.
I don't know, because we did but then again, it was kind of COVID and stuff was closed.
Yeah.
So like we did go, like we went to Universal a few times, we went to Knott's a few times. So I feel like we did go full Disney. And then it's like we even had a Disney World pass. Like we really tried to go and just do that. And again, not that the views were bad. They were good.
At the time, yeah, and it was.
But it's like our mental health. We were like, dude, these people, like, it was like the people you're around you. There's a lot of good people, but man, there's a lot of crazy people. And then it was making us feel crazy. And then the way those parks are being run, So maybe we'll go back someday, but only probably honestly until our niece comes to us and says, or maybe my nephew says, hey, we really want to do like an Orlando trip again. Great. We'll try to make that happen. But as far as for us, I have no desire to go to any Disney park for that matter around the world.
Yeah, it's just not Disney World. It's like even if we were like in France or something, we wouldn't wouldn't go to Euro Disney. I've been to France a couple of times, didn't go to Euro Disney, but I just you know, we just want to do other stuff. So
yeah, I want to see America. I want to see like maybe like Germany, and you know,
Katie wants to do she wants to do the vlogging version of Aerial America.
Yeah, I do. I would.
She wants to do
show.
Handheld America. She wants to walk around.
I do.
You know.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna take that idea now. Handheld America. There we go.
Hey, this next question kind of. Will you guys ever come to Maui?
Oh yeah.
I think someday.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Another place I've been years ago.
I have to get over the flight though. Like I don't really want to fly over the ocean for that long.
I would love to go back though. It was my favorite place. I've been to Oahu, Hawaii, and Maui. And Maui definitely was my favorite. And I surfed Honolulu Bay, pretty maxed out for me. It was rad.
How old were you when you started cooking? What's your first cooking memory? I started with my grandma and then my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law. Her and I are still, she's the best. I love her. She even loves our channel. She loves Spence. Shout out to you. And so she taught me a lot. And then, of course, my mom. You know, and my grandma. So I don't know. I feel like I was a kid. I remember getting like a toy hand mixer. And then it's always been just kind of a stress reliever for me. And I just love it. It's like, and I love learning about it. So I love cooking. And then baking has been a whole nother adventure too. So I would say I was just a kid. And
for me, I had a little book. I know you don't want to hear this. No, but I did. I had you've never heard this. I had this cool little, this book. It was a kid's book, and it was like it taught you how to make really simple things. Like it taught you how to make cinnamon toast. I totally
thought you were joking.
No.
So that's cute.
It taught you how to make cinnamon toast, and it like the cinnamon toast on the page. It was like Mylar, you know, in the book, so it looked really cool, like shiny,
cute.
Right? And it taught you how to make like scrambled eggs. It taught you how to make like basic stuff, you know. So
any Doheny camp surf trips in the new year?
Yeah, as well as other places, because Doheny's more of a summer spot for the surf trips because of the South Swell angle, right? You don't really get waves there in the wintertime unless it's huge, and then it's usually that river's running out and it's gross.
Yeah, and Spence had a surf like mission to get back in shape and get back in the water, and then that was thwarted when he
When
kind
I
of got injured.
slammed,
But
yeah.
then we literally were going back, and we were on our way to the camping trip. And if you saw that video, he ended up falling at the skate park beforehand. So then that thwarted it once again.
Yeah, it's been weird.
It's been crazy, but all for a reason.
But the whole the surfing journey is continuing. Yes, we're just trying to get it together. It's been raining a lot, and really,
Don't go in the water.
the reason I started snowboarding, I'm not even kidding. Like, it was because it was a cool thing that was happening in the 80s and mid to late 80s. But it was because we couldn't really surf in the winter as much as we wanted to because it was just so chocolatey out there. It would rain and it's chocolate, and people would go out and surf, but like I got tired of getting sick.
Even after the fires
oh my
in
gosh,
LA, like we would see people like out there in Santa Monica and stuff, and I was like, bruh.
playing with fire. So we would go snowboarding and surf the winter wave, and that's really, I thought about that the other day. I was like, that's why we started snowboarding. It was an alternative because it was just like, you just watch perfect waves all day and be like, I can't go out there.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
So I hope that answered your question. Have you ever considered not renewing your Magic Key with Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've considered it. I
Yeah.
would say, especially since the reservation system, it's like you could just get tickets and, also maybe not go as frequently, but still go.
Well, the way it's set up, there are a lot more tickets available than there are spots for pass holders.
Yeah, we're paying
if
almost,
that makes sense.
We're paying almost $2,000 each for
Yeah.
a pass, and and honestly, the way the parks run lately, like we've not been. What do you say? You've not been quiet about it, I guess. Like
No.
we've been honest about it. We've not been shy about saying that.
But I think the thing that sways the pass argument is that if you're getting reservations available for your ticket, no problem, and you have a pass that you paid $2,000 for that you can never get a reservation on a weekend because maybe you work 5 days a week, I think the math is simple at that point. And I think that
but then parking comes into play. So
parking is where they grab you. It's like,
it really depends on how frequently you're going. But yeah, back to have we considered? Yes, we have considered. We consider it every year, and we talk about it even halfway through the year. How are we liking this? Do we think that we're getting to that point? If we do get to that point, we will sure let you know if we are going to cancel our pass. But I think we're always going to be, I can definitely say we will always be Disneyland fans, and that will be somewhere on our channel at some point, pass or not. All right, next question. Let's see. If you weren't doing YouTube for a living, what would you both be doing right now? I would be in the nursing field, probably.
probably in television, like where I was, I guess.
Yeah, you still are there.
I still am. I just don't.
And I'm still a licensed nurse.
I guess my point is I don't really like pursue it actively if a project surfaces, obviously, but like it's changed a lot, and there's not, the playing field isn't what it was back before 2020. It's changed so much like Disneyland. The television space, production television has gone down pretty far in Los Angeles. That's all I can say.
All right, next question. When is your anniversary, and what is your favorite place to go on vacation? I don't know. When would it be? I mean, do you have an anniversary for becoming boyfriend and girlfriend? I don't think so.
I mean, it's kind of that's a weird, because it kind of.
I don't even know when that would be.
We just had our 7 or 8 year anniversary for YouTube.
I don't remember.
That we just had that, and that was in.
Clearly, I remember dates very well.
That was in November. The channel.
Oh, the channel one, yeah, I remember
the channel
that.
one. So yeah, it was 8. I think it's 8 years.
Favorite place on vacation? I'd say, like, for us, lately has been La Quinta Resort.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite lately.
Out there,
and that changes.
Coachella Valley area, yeah.
We've done some vlogs there. What is the new experience for 2026, something neither of you have ever done? Ooh. I know one, but I don't want to spoil it because it's kind of a fun thing that's, I will say it has to do with the outdoors that we get to do, that we're actively planning with some other YouTuber friends of ours.
Yeah.
And I would say that's like, I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too, yeah.
Just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you. I got this. This overlapped. This was about 2026. How do you choose healthy food when you're at Disney? I don't, actually. Not anymore. Honestly, I don't. I feel like when we're there, we're only there for a few hours. And with how
infrequent we go.
Yeah, with how infrequent and with how like crazy the parks are now, like it's just not as when it was very easy to be there and it was like chill, you could like sit and choose like healthy. Now it's like you kind of take what you could get and whatever feels good.
It's so funny. A lot of times it's so desperate that we're like, dude, let's just get a corn dog. Everything is so, I can't.
It's complicated.
The mobile app, we're going to get this 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
Or there's lines or there's whatever, or that's closed or whatever. But in the old days, I will say that like there was like, that we would get the salad at Plaza Inn. Was kind of a healthy thing.
Yeah.
But that's about it. You know
what
what I mean?
You can get like a chunk of pineapple, or like Bengal barbecue is always really good because it's like pure protein, I feel like you'd say.
We were bringing our food for a little while. Remember that?
Yeah. We did do that. Are you still keeping your Malibu home?
Yeah. It's the Malibu thing is tricky because it's in limbo. Our building had damage to it, not our place specifically, but the building did. And so consequently, there's a lot of things that need to be done. Permits are taking forever. I don't know if you've watched any videos on that kind of stuff. You watch Adam Carolla, he does videos on it, talking about the actual processes of what is happening because he was a construction guy, so it makes sense to him. It's just on hold. We still have it. It's our place, but it's, we can't inhabit the situation really. We can go there, but we can't really we can't live there right now. By
the way, I just want to say, if you see me like skipping through because I either went the wrong way and it was like repeated, and I kind of screenshot these overlapping a little bit, but also some of these, if you're seeing I'm not answering every single one, it's because they're repeats. Like here's another one, are you going to get married? That was already asked, so I'm going to skip it because we already asked it. So just wanted you to know if you could kind of see. I'm trying to be as like transparent as possible. I feel like that's important nowadays. Do you guys ever sit back and rewatch vlogs and take it all in? Sometimes.
It's
if
weird.
We're gonna go back to a place, yes, like we'll do that.
Yeah.
By the way, Greta is snoring. Hold on, let's see if you guys can hear. I think I probably woke her up a little bit.
Yeah, she heard you.
I love you. Okay, sorry, but if you... yeah, I did. I woke her up. I'm sorry, honey. But yeah, so I would say sometimes if we're going to possibly like repeat a vlog, we'll do that. Or like most recently with looking back when we were making our tribute video to our old friend Adam, we definitely did that. We sat back and watched some stuff and took some of that in. And I think that was a good way to process the complex feelings we had around that.
It's definitely, I can tell you this, it's if you're somebody who does this and you're real about it, and when I say real about it, like if you're just being yourself for real and you're documenting a lot of stuff in your life, especially like that 50 days we did at home and all that stuff, it's so real that there's times we've looked back at certain videos that, Greta's coming in, that I don't remember doing them. I'm watching it as if it was someone else. And it was because there was a lot of trauma with that whole thing. I was not handling it very well. So yeah, it's so weird to look back on that stuff. And, there was days when I didn't want to get out of bed because I was just so, bummed out about what was going on and freaked out. And like everybody was dealing with it in their own way. But yeah, it was wild stuff.
I think that's a good way of putting it. So yeah, it kind of depends on the situation. But do we go back and like just do that? No, like I think sometimes if we're showing friends and family, sometimes they're like, do you ever have bloopers? And we're like, yeah, we actually have a couple blooper videos.
Right.
And we'll watch those with them. Or like say we're trying to remember something, like remember a friend like Brian.
Yeah.
We'll watch that stuff. So we'll do that. How are the parks when it's raining? We will be there this week. It's not that fun. I think there's fun things about it to get like hot chocolate and stuff. But again, it's hard because things are so busy. There's mobile order.
Certain things.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
A lot of rides shut down.
Certain rides don't operate because they're exposed to the elements, and it creates a safety issue. So, and then there's parade issues and things like that. They don't operate because of, again, safety issues, or they do the B mode with no dancers and things. I don't know. There's all sorts of things like that. But what ends up happening because of the deficiency of things being closed, things that are open become a little more crowded, and places to hide from the rain become, prime real estate, as far as like, where do we go to just hang for a second to get out of the rain? And everybody's huddled under the overhang of the Golden Horseshoe all along Frontierland, and people are, so it just becomes a little bit difficult if you're ready for it and you got the right gear and you have a good attitude. It's fun,
Yeah, and I think there's some beauty in it too. Like I think there's some
the lights at night make it really
very pretty with
awesome.
the reflection.
Yeah.
So there's good things and bad things, but is it my preferred time to go to the park anymore? No. Was there a time when I was like, yeah, I love going in the rain? Yeah. So I kind of think it's subjective to what you want to do, your frame of mind, your preparedness.
Yeah.
Preparedness.
I'd also say, if it gets bad, just run yourself to the Grand Cal and go sit by that big fireplace.
Yeah, with 900 other people doing the same thing.
Sorry, that's what I'd do.
Any thoughts on doing a San Diego vlog in 2026?
Yeah.
I think that'd be
sure.
fun.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Oh, we're definitely doing one, actually.
Oh, we are. Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually loosely planned.
Yeah.
Is a Magic Key worth it? I think it depends on how frequently you're going and if parking. I think it all comes down to math.
It's just math.
Comes down to math. Not sure my question was sent. Does Spencer still work in the entertainment biz? We kind of touched on that. Like, you still have a toe in it, and I think we talked about it.
Yeah. Directors Guild member, still active, and yeah.
Where is one of your favorite places to eat in Las Vegas? I feel like Bavette's Steakhouse.
Bavette's popped into my brain.
I think it is one of the best steakhouses I've ever been to, and I love it.
It's a Chicago outfit, and therefore they know how to do steaks, and it's classy, and the service and the staff and just the vibe. And I've watched other videos of people going there, and they say the same thing. They're like, dude, this place
is great. I feel like it's way underrated.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know, but Bavette's. We also really love eating at Italy when we're just Italy's great.
Yeah.
And then pizza over at New York. We love just getting a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm hungry now.
I am too.
Any fan encounters that weirded you out? Bathroom. Yeah, people have approached me in the bathroom, and I'm like trying, I'm like getting ready to pee, and like they'll, the other ones are, and this happens a lot at Disneyland, where it'll be 900 degrees outside, and I will be carrying a tray of Dole Whips
that are like the special new Dole Whip.
We're gonna try this, and people will be talking, and they'll say like, "Hang on, can you wait right here? I'm gonna go get my aunt, Mary." And and I'm like, okay.
Let me call them. They're in Tomorrowland right now. Let me get them over here.
And the ice cream is completely melted, and they're not cheap. And again, so I have learned to be a little bit more when that happens. I say like, hey, I have this melting ice cream. I'm going to sit down. We are right there.
If you have a second, can you just come with us?
Grab Aunt Mary, come with us.
We'll be right here.
Spend your,
Promise we'll,
Yeah, because I'd say that's just weird and awkward, because it's like,
And it's likely the only time that we're ever going to run into this person, so I understand.
Yeah.
That's why we say like, no, if you could just give it a sec.
Yeah, so I'd say that's where it's weird, and same thing with the bathroom. It's like that might be their only time, but it's just weird for us, but you just work through the weirdness and you find a way to,
the only other one I could think of too is like, if it's very out of context and we're like in another city and we're somewhere else.
Oh yeah, like we were in San Francisco walking.
Yeah, and depending on how it comes at you, I thought this lady was angry at me, and I didn't know I did something wrong.
Yes.
Because we were walking on the street and she's like, hey, and I'm like, what did I do? And she's like, no, I know your channel. I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I did.
Oh, you know what? That does bring up another weird thing is like, again, this is stuff that happens not in Disney parks, but like, we'll be at like the mall, or we'll be grocery shopping, and we think that like, I'm like, is something on my face, Spence? Because this lady is like staring, and I don't know. But really, what they're doing, they'll come up to us eventually, and they'll say, or they'll send a message and say, I saw you at Ralph's or something,
Yeah.
and I was just too afraid to say hi, or I just wasn't sure it was you. And I'm like, well, I look like The Walking Dead right now, so I don't blame you for not recognizing if that was me or not. But the point is, yeah, those are just weird, but you're just like, you get why. It is weird. How did you two meet? Any plans for kids? No, I have made that very clear. I don't dislike kids. I just dislike kids in for my life. I want to sleep. I want to do what I want to do. And kids, it wouldn't be fair to the kids. It would not be not that we wouldn't be good parents, but it wouldn't be fair to the kids because I don't want to have kids.
We have Kaylee in our lives, so
Yeah, I'll be an auntie forever, and I like it. Any daytime jobs? This is pretty much our full-time daytime job, and it just kind of happened that way. It wasn't like we set out to make that happen. It just worked that way. Favorite part of this year?
This past year? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'd have to go through the thing. There was a lot of fun stuff that went on. I mean,
I would say I kind of liked our San Francisco to Lake Tahoe.
Oh yeah, that was a
trip.
That was really
That was
good.
a really big highlight.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'd say another highlight was watching my niece perform.
Yeah.
She's over this year, she's made the biggest leaps and bounds of her acting and singing.
It's pretty wild.
So I'd say that. Favorite Greta moment? Realizing that she's obsessed with the beach.
Yeah.
Obsessed. And we got barks out of her. Wow, wow.
Yeah, my favorite Greta moment happens a lot, and it's when she does that. It's she gets on her own, gets so excited. She'll be walking and cruising, and we're watching her, and all of a sudden something will come over her, and she'll get this giddiness, and she'll buck around, and then start like she's feeling herself. I was like, it's really
out
cool.
Out of nowhere. It's so funny. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about you. I'm sliding her in a little bit.
Look at her.
Hi.
This is her new bed that she got for Christmas.
Yes, her new little cuddle bed.
She loves it.
What is the best thing you've ever cooked? I'm assuming that's to me because this one was on my thing. So for me, I'd probably say just any kind of pasta dish, I guess.
It's tough. You make a bunch of these different things, and I got to be reminded sometimes. There's a casserole thing you make. Make a good lasagna.
Yeah. Maybe a meatloaf you've liked.
Oh yeah, you make good meatloaf. Yeah.
It's like you just bring something up. He'll be like, oh yeah, that was really good.
But what I would like her to try to make is a chili.
A chili?
Yeah, like a vegetable chili, like a good hearty,
an actual chili.
Chili, like eat with a spoon and have cornbread with.
I've made chili 15 times for you.
Well, we need to make it now.
Okay,
I would like some today.
Okay, so let's get to the real root of this. You just want chili tonight for dinner, is what you're saying.
Maybe. I just want it back in the repertoire. I want it back in the rotation.
There it is. It's so funny. I know you so well that you're like, you know what, you need to try and make a chili. As if I've never made that.
It's not that you've never made it. It's just that you revisit things and then you tweak them and alter them, and it's like you've been making. How long have you been making the cinnamon rolls in the morning?
Right.
Because she makes them from scratch, right? Mm-hmm. They're different a little bit every time because you've altered it. This time they were really good. They had a little more cinnamon, whatever. So that's what I'm saying is what's up?
I think chili sounds good though.
Where's the chili 2.0, 2025, 2026 version,
You're so funny. I will definitely make that. Spencer's artwork. It looks like initials. Does it spell a message, his name?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
I think they're talking about the geometric thing.
Okay.
In general. At least I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, so a lot of my artwork is rooted in graffiti art, and prior to that as a kid, I just did a lot of drawing and stuff. I was really fascinated with logos and grew up with motocross and BMX and skateboarding and surfing culture in Southern California. So all that imagery and the companies and the logos and all that stuff was really inspiring. And then consequently graffiti in the 80s was a big deal, and hip hop and all that stuff. And so that's where it's rooted in for me. I'm still a very semi-active graffiti artist. Started in 80, I would say 87, 88.
So when I was born.
Yeah. And that's a geometric thing that I do. It's an isometric little style that I like to do. And some of it's abstract. Some of it is letter formed, like you might be seeing letters in that.
Sometimes you write surf though,
Sometimes I'll write my name hidden in there, you know,
and it's
structure
really
it that
hard
way.
to see.
Yeah.
Only the
And,
trained eye.
but then sometimes I'll paint my name like old school wild style, you know, graffiti
But
style.
I think that's what they're talking about. In the geometric one, do you put a message or your name in there?
Sometimes I
That's
do,
what
sometimes
I
I
would say.
don't.
I feel like, long story short, that's what they're talking about.
Those pieces were really made to just like not have to conform to letters. I was just tired of doing letters.
Okay, these next ones, these were kind of asked. It was, do you still have your home in Malibu? And what are some new things that you want to do for 2026? They said goals. Anything you haven't done before, which we kind of touched on that. Is there any like goals though? I don't know if we said plans.
I mean, the goals, yeah, we have goals.
Live your best life.
Yeah, well,
But that's not new, I guess.
We have goals for the content. I think if there's any kind of goal, like personal goals are different. I would say personal goals, I just want to surf more and like do more of that stuff, that get more active, and we're doing that.
I want to just like look hotter. I'm just kidding.
And then channel goals, like, you know, we want to do more Southern California, you know, all over. It's what we would be doing kind of anyways. It's always been our thing. It's like, hey, we just want to kind of make videos of what we do.
Yeah.
And so more of that, but more expansive and more frequent. And you know, yeah, I think frequency is a big goal of trying to be more frequent on the YouTube.
Another question about like the Disneyland pass, kind of worded in a different way. Your favorite makeup eyeshadows?
Tough, man.
Estee Lauder.
I'd probably have to agree with that.
Any upcoming exciting news or events? I think we touched on that. Nothing like crazy news.
Nothing
though.
that we can confirm like right now. We'd have to,
Yeah.
you know, but when things get confirmed, we can say there's some things, you know.
Yeah. Love you guys. Will you be visiting Oregon or Washington next year? I think that would be so fun, but nothing is like set in like
Nothing
a stone.
Plan, but yeah, that wouldn't be off the radar. We'll put it that way.
Have you watched the new Dracula? I'm obsessed. No, it's not out in the United States yet, but when it is, I will be seeing it 100 times. I have an option to watch it. Like a lot of people said they can like illegally download it, but I won't do that because I'm too scared. And that's not right.
It
That's bad
takes
karma.
away from the people who created that movie, man.
Yeah.
It's not,
A couple of wishes on here. I wanted to wish you guys, don't have a question, just wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a New Year.
thank you.
This is another kind of Disneyland pass one. What do you about, I think that meant to say think. What do you think about Disneyland getting rid of the cheap annual pass? I didn't even know that they did that. I really didn't even know that. See that what I'm saying? Like we don't, unless I kind of hear, like I don't follow a lot on Instagram, and if I do, it's because I like the person I follow.
I'll just say this: if that's true, I would say that
I'm trying to think what
it would. I would say that it confirms our belief of how they feel and how they treat the pass holders, because you know it's a seat filler program. You know, if you want to get real about it, and so they're trying to eliminate. They don't need as many seat fillers now because they've figured out how to pack the park.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So, I feel like it's going to be even more of a premium product than it has ever been, with less perks and less of what you used to get. But that's just my take.
I agree. How often do you guys go to Universal Studios in SoCal? Not a lot. I'd say basically Halloween. That's the time we'd go.
I go there more if I have a job there. Mm-hmm. Because I probably visited that place more, like I said, through Directors Guild than I have to go to the theme park. So.
Okay. How often do you do a tour at Warner Brothers Studios? Never.
Never. Again, that's something that like.
I only went because he would
gave
work
you a tour.
there, and which is better than anything you can pay for. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and those tours are cool. Listen,
isn't Warner Brothers kind of like?
Warner Brothers has the cool tour, but
aren't they kind of like going out of business or something?
yeah, all the studios are struggling. You know, because of the state of film and television, the studios are struggling.
So I wonder if they're even going to do those tours anymore or whatever.
I hope so. I mean, Warner Brothers is an amazing lot. That was my favorite lot to ever work. And when you guys came and I gave you and Brian a tour, we had so much fun sneaking on stages and messing around and doing stuff. And my lunch breaks, I used to go live on Instagram, remember? And I'd walk around the little courtyard where they did that show you love. And it's. if you're coming and you want to do those, I would suggest the Warner Brothers one over Universal. Universal Studios Tour has become very different than what it used to be, and it's not really about, filmmaking so much as it is just like theme parky, you know what I'm saying? So like Warner Brothers is really cool because they kind of delve more into the filmmaking process.
Yeah,
so you get to walk on stages and things like that.
I remember whenever like we would be there watching those tours go by. And
you'd see them drive by, and they're little carts. They're cool. They're like little golf carts with like 20 people in them. I would walk behind them sometimes just to pick up the information. And like, what is he saying? Like, oh, cool. Like learning stuff, But yeah, we had a blast. There's a Disney Bears video where we're running around, and
it's an old one. It's so cringy.
The big courthouse, the Batman courthouse. Me and Katie run up in there, and I ran into the wall because I couldn't see, and it was so funny.
Good times.
Yeah.
For Katie, would you consider putting together a booklet of your favorite recipes for publication? That would be really cool. But a lot of my recipes, I mean, I have some that I've made up on my own or like tweaked over time, but I'm not like a creator of recipes. I would love to be that, but I am a huge fan of, I would say like, I would love to put, I don't even know if this is a thing, but I would love to put together a publication of my favorite creators' recipes that I've tweaked, but like pay all the like homage to them and help promote them. Because I think about it sometimes, I'm like, man, who would have thought, like, for instance, there's this chocolate pie I've been obsessed with. I love Butternut Bakery. Like, Jenna is just, I'm such a big fan. But anywho, I sometimes was like looking at that pie going like, man, the fact that she thought to put these ingredients together and it creates that. So I would love to do something like that. Or maybe a little thing of like my stuff that I've come up with. I think that'd be cool. Not for sale, but just to share. For Spencer, if you were to stage manage a Disney production, which one and why? I already know the answer to that.
Do you?
Yep.
I'd like to know because I don't know.
You would say you wouldn't want to work for Disney.
That's probably true.
See?
That's probably true. Okay, well, how's this though? I did do a Disney show called Win, Lose, or Draw. It was a kids' version of Win, Lose, or Draw.
So would your
Disney.
answer be that you'd want to do that again?
I would do it again, yeah.
Okay.
I got to work with all the
answer.
Disney actor kids would come on and play.
Like you're talking about Disney Channel people?
Yeah, like Cameron Boyce. Like R.I.P. Cameron, he was on there. Like he was like all these like Disney kids were on the show. It was fun. It was cool.
What is the latest with you and the? I don't know if I should say the word the Underbiters.
I don't know.
Nothing really. I mean, like
it's so funny because from my perspective, to be fair, that whole scene is so like it's like on another planet. Like I feel like it's on Neptune and like I live on Earth.
Right.
And maybe that's just the way I put it in my brain and like, because it's not a priority, obviously, and it's not like, I just don't care. So it's way out in the deep in my universe. Like, it's like, oh, that thing, hold on. I got to like reach in and grab it and think about it because I don't think about it and I don't care. I
think about it periodically in the way of I like to learn from it because it was a time when we, like, I don't think we were as sure of ourselves as we were as a channel and as a...
That's true.
Because I think we became friends with these people. If I'm being like, let's just be honest here. We kind of became friends with them because like Adam kind of wanted us to all get along, bless his heart.
Yep.
And, I think there were some of them we clicked more with others. And again, not to say that every single one of them are like, I'm not saying like, oh, you're bad people. It's just that.
But I don't think we would have done that on our own.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have reached out and gone to those lengths to try to like hang out with all those people. We did because it was easy and it was just what was happening and it just kind of like.
And it was nice to have a circle to talk about like.
But I'm just being honest about like I just kind of accepted it for what it was. But in looking back, would I actively pursue something like that? No. We weren't trying to at the time. Maybe other people were, but like, you get these comments like, and I see the comments have transitioned to other groups now, but like you would see it's the Avengers of YouTube or the, whatever. And I'd be like, really? But
I guess you have to look at it, and the way I see it now is I have shifted my paradigm to look at it through the looking glass of people that, you have to think about it. There are people that they watch like these 4 or 5 channels, right?
Sure.
And so they look at it as like, ooh, if I had a chance to be friends with them, I would love that because they're big fans of their channels, right? And that's fair. But the people aren't always exactly the same. And like, you don't, just because, how do I put this? Like, you don't know those people behind the camera. And I'm not saying they're like bad people behind the camera. I'm just saying that like,
But
do you jive right? You don't know. Like,
well, it's because it's a simple thing of like, just because we do this YouTube thing, that's not enough to be in common when you think about either where people were raised, how they were raised, where they come from,
what are their beliefs,
what are their even their motivations of why they're even doing this. That to me is the most important thing, because it's everybody's got their own reasons for it, and they're all different, and that's when you end up seeing clashes because of the different approaches. Because somewhere along the line, people who are totally cool, we're doing the same thing, yeah, and all of a sudden, boom, this one cuts this one off, and it's like, hey, I don't appreciate that. But this one doesn't see that they're cutting you off, and this one doesn't, it just gets messy.
The other thing I will also say too is like, you don't, because you're seeing photos together or you're seeing this, that, and the other, what I learned in that time is the way they feel about each other behind each other's backs is it didn't add up to what I was like seeing and what I thought it would be. And I'm just being honest with you. Like, I'm not saying now maybe things are great. I don't know, and I don't care. And I think another thing is too is I really want to drive it home that like you could not pay me any form of money compensation. You couldn't say, hey, Katie, you will never have to worry about a dime again. You will never whatever. There is no amount of money or anything in the world that would make me want to go back to that. So just because you would want to doesn't mean we would want to.
I think that's a good point, because I think sometimes people will, comment in that way of like,
they look at it from how they want.
Like they don't want anything to do with you. And it's like,
we don't want
that's cool because I don't want anything to do with them.
Nothing.
And it's like, I think they see it as like, whoa, you were ostracized from that great group of people. And it's like, dude, you have no idea. Like, I am happy, and especially nowadays when sometimes we'll get, purged of subscribers that don't like us because of something or whatever, because related to that kind of stuff. And they will try to like kind of hold it hostage of like, well, I'm unsubscribing. And I'm like, I don't see anybody stopping you.
Yeah,
and that
don't
doesn't
let the door hit you on the way out.
And the whole psychological attempt at trying to like hold that over me, that you're going to like force me to bend the way you believed, is held over my head. I'm like, you can bail. I don't deal with ultimatums at all. That's an ultimatum.
Yeah, it's like life is so short. We want you guys, ultimately, if we're not the right fit for you, we want you to be happy. And it's just like they weren't the right fit for us.
Yeah.
And again, the term underbiters, it just happened that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a little mean and whatnot, but you know what? For what happened to us, I don't care anymore.
It's just literally in reference to being like an underdweller who is biting and nipping at your heels, man. And that's what they did. That's, they can't get us out of their brains, and we live rent free to this day. But like, what are you going to do? You know, I can't control people, and they do what they want, man.
So I guess, it's like, where are we at with it? That's where we're at. And I will touch on it sometimes on Instagram and whatnot. And I guess I'd say we're so past it that it's like, I genuinely just hope that I have nothing to do with them and that they are good.
Dude, it's like cue the George Michael, freedom. I swear, that's what's in my head. It's like, it's very liberating and very nice to be outside of all of that. I have to say. And best of luck to all those people, because I can see into what you guys are doing in there, and it looks nasty and tough, man. It looks like not a fun place to have to compete with each other and then smile and take pictures together. So like, good on you for being able to do that, because we couldn't do it.
No,
we couldn't play the phony game. And
we actually did fail at one thing, and that was it. That is a fail for us.
Yeah, because there's a game that has to be played, and they have to be nice and, hey, represent each other's channels,
guys.
and they're the best and whatever. And it's like, okay, whatever. It's just, I don't want to play that. But
bye, Felicia.
See ya.
Favorite restaurant in California. What a fun segue.
Wow, that was a great segue.
No, but
back to food.
I like that people talk about this stuff, though, because, like, again, you have to realize, like, maybe it's over the last like year or two, it's like, I don't care anymore. I have nothing to hide. Like, ask me the question, I'm going to answer it.
I've also come to terms with, like, if it's if drama is all you want from me, I mean, I guess I can give you as much as I can muster. I don't know.
Take with it what you will, and you can take what we said, make 10 videos about it. Again, it kind of all comes back to us, so it's cool. Do what you got to do.
I won't even get into all that.
Let's just try to be nice. Like, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, favorite restaurant in California?
Oh, in all of California? I know what Katie's is.
Let's see if you know it. Hold on, I'm going to tell the camera first. Look away. Don't listen. Cover your ears.
Well, I can't.
Okay. He might say Blair's. I think Blair's in Los Feliz. Okay.
You done?
Yeah.
Blair's Silver Lake.
Los Feliz is what I said.
Or Los Feliz.
Yeah.
That's always debated anyways.
Yeah, it's so like... But then also kind of like Splashes was really nice too because of the view in Laguna. That was really nice.
Let's see. Man, that's tough because we go to a lot of good places to eat.
And I feel like I know what your like current one, because it's been our go-to lately has been Bear Flag. But
I do like Bear Flag. That place where we used to get those burgers in Palisades, man.
Oh, Hanks.
Hanks was so like.
Also, Bavette's has been good.
But Bavette's too. But I'm talking. Yeah, Bavette's.
But that's not California. Katie.
Yeah, it's not. Because I'm trying to go for like also like vibe and all of that, and so.
Hanks is a good one, though. I'd say, like, Hanks is a really good one. Yeah, my stomach just growled, by the way. We had to cut right there because I'm rumbling.
We can talk about food. I'm starving, too.
You guys. Please do more REI and more shopping and camping videos. Yes.
Yeah. Greta's scratching right now.
Look at her. I'm just slowly bringing her into frame. What's the best time of year, in your opinion, to go to Disneyland if you want low crowds? There is not. That's never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Your best thing to do is maybe go as early as possible or stay like right for the last hour.
Here's one thing I can tell you. Find out if there are any SoCal ticket deals. If there are any like ticket deals like that active going on, it's going to be crowded. If you could find out when those things end, I would say that's your best bet. Find out when the passes are blocked out, but
no, because then they just make
they make another deal.
They have made it.
They figured out how to fill it to where the downtimes are not downtimes, and so
because then they'll do events. They'll do it's never not. But I would tell you, plan that it is always going to be crowded.
Yeah, and if you luck out somehow, it does happen where there's days where it just kind of weird, you know. But that's it's not.
And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I just want to be real with you. No, it's almost always busy now.
The years of remember the websites that had the crowd calendars and stuff.
Yeah, I laugh when I see those now.
Not a thing anymore.
Speaking of Disneyland, was there anything you could bring back from 2010 to 2014 Disney? What would it be? I would say the prices, the vibes, and no reservations. There are a few more, but we don't have time to get to every single one. But I hope we answered like the majority that that we could. The most frequent ones. If
there was things we missed, we could just like rapid fire. Like, okay, I'm a regular foot in surfing. Katie's gonna get her garden going in the springtime.
Yeah, we have plans for the garden. That's a really good one though. When people said, "What are plans for 2026?" Yeah. We do have a big vegetable garden update because, as you know, it didn't go the way we planned, especially the corn. Yeah, the corn took a turn. That's a good one, though.
We successfully grew the corn, but we just got eaten alive by mice.
We have a lot to go over on that. That was kind of a fail. It was like a half fail.
Yeah, but
so Mother Nature had other plans.
Yeah.
What others are rapid fire? What's your favorite food?
Probably mac and cheese.
I would say that or pizza.
Yeah, pizza's pretty good.
For me, is anything chocolate or pasta.
Pizza was always my desert island food because it consisted of so many different ingredients. I was like, it kind of covers the basis. You got vegetables and you got meat on there, you got cheese, you got bread.
Yeah.
Because if I had macaroni and cheese on an island, I would probably not survive.
Yeah.
Because it would be all pasta and cheese.
Yeah, it would literally be that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that wrapped it up for you guys.
We're going to end it on food because we're going to go eat now.
We are. I'm starving. Like
Lord
I can tell you, I'm gonna eat.
All right. We hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A. Again, we do this every once in a blue moon to keep you updated on who we are, what's going on, what the vibe is, and then we move on with content tomorrow.
And we hope that you guys have a wonderful, happy, and safe new year.
Yeah.
You might be watching this after the new year has already happened. And again, we do need to also say, though, a huge thank you once again. We would not be able to do this channel without you turning it on.
That's right.
Even the people that don't like us, the fact that you watch us, it helps us too. So we do want to also say a sincere thank you to you. Anybody that has, any criticisms.
They love to hate, and we love that they love to hate.
Right, and like your criticisms are valid because we are not perfect humans.
We hear your voice. Don't scream so loud. We hear you.
Yes, we are not perfect humans, and we never want to be. We want, hopefully, that you find some relatability in yourselves with us. So we love you guys. We hope we are bringing you some positivity and happiness, no matter how. Some entertainment.
Oh, we just woke Greta up, so she's
escapism.
Look at her.
She is stretching.
All right.
Greta loves you too. Thank you for always loving on Greta. Look at this positioning here. I'm sorry, but full blown laying on the. You were laying on the table, girl.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye, everybody.